Here are 25 sentences about the culinary history of Oklahoma. Oklahoma's culinary landscape has been shaped by its Native American roots, early European settlers, and the influence of the railroad and cattle industries. The state's cuisine is often described as hearty and comforting, reflecting the resilience of its people. Tribal communities, such as the Cherokee and Choctaw, played a significant role in introducing European crops like wheat and corn to Oklahoma. In the late 19th century, Scottish and Irish immigrants brought their love of beef and lamb, which would become staples of Oklahoma cuisine. The discovery of oil in the early 20th century brought wealth and new settlers to the state, who introduced their own culinary traditions. The introduction of refrigeration and railroads allowed for the wider distribution of meats, fruits, and vegetables, expanding Oklahoma's food options. Chuckwagon cooking, popularized by cowboys and ranchers, emphasized beef, beans, and biscuits. Native American dishes like succotash and wild rice were incorporated into Oklahoma cuisine. Pioneer women relied on cornmeal mush and hoe cakes as staples in their households. Farmers' markets became a common gathering place for farmers to sell fresh produce and for communities to socialize. The Cherokee Nation developed its own unique cuisine, influenced by the state's diverse Native American heritage. Cattle ranching remains a significant industry in Oklahoma, with many family-owned operations serving local communities. Tulsa's African American community was instrumental in establishing its own culinary traditions, including soul food and barbecue. The city of Sapulpa is famous for its Sapulpa pie, a sweet potato and pecan pie that has been served at family gatherings for generations. In the early 20th century, Oklahoma became known for its landrunners, who staked claims to land and built settlements from scratch. Farming and ranching families often held big gatherings and barbecues, where traditional dishes like fried chicken and green beans were served. The Dust Bowl of the 1930s had a profound impact on Oklahoma's food culture, as many farmers turned to livestock and smaller-scale farming operations. In the aftermath of the Great Depression, food preservation techniques became essential for many families, with canning and pickling being popular methods. The establishment of the Oklahoma State Fair in 1915 showcased state farm products and featured traditional Oklahoma dishes like fried catfish and squash blossoms. As the railroad continued to expand throughout the state, travelers were introduced to new ingredients and cooking styles from across the country. The influence of Asian immigrants can be seen in Oklahoma's Chinese American cuisine, which features popular dishes like wonton soup and egg rolls. The state's Native American heritage is also reflected in its use of traditional ingredients like wild rice and sunflower seeds. Chickasaw people used to make a sweet cornbread called hunakta, made with ground corn, water, and sometimes meat or cheese. In the 1950s and 1960s, Oklahoma's food scene became more diverse as the state welcomed new immigrants from around the world. The rise of interstate highways in the 1970s allowed for greater accessibility to out-of-state markets, enabling Oklahoma farmers and ranchers to reach a wider audience. Today, Oklahoma's culinary landscape is shaped by its rich Native American heritage, early European settlers, and diverse immigrant communities.